take two?
Take two.
Take two.
Well, I guess I was saying jet lag is very real.
Yeah,
jet lag. Internet services, man.
So you did the whole family vacation, took the kids, everything with you?
Yeah. Kids went, in-laws went. So.
Yeah. How was the boat? I guess. I mean, you texted me. You said I'm not too thrilled about this.
Yeah. I don't like water, so put me on a mountain somewhere, and it's a good vacation.
Yeah. Okay.
But otherwise, it was all right. I mean, I don't want to dog it too much. It was an experience, you know. It was really cool. You know, was it? The Caribbeans were pretty nice. We went to Jamaica the 2nd or the 3rd, and then Haiti. Jamaica was very eye-opening. We went out of their fenced-in compound, and we really got to see, you know, the true side of Jamaica.
It really is, yeah. It's been a long time since I went there. I think it was like 2008 when I went to Jamaica last time, and it's very eye-opening when you get off the resort and you get out into the communities and stuff. It's very...
Yeah, I mean, there was like cement structures with like rebar popping out. I mean, it genuinely looked like a war zone. Like bombs have been dropped in there. It was makes you like think it. You know, sure, my house isn't the nicest, but it's better than what they got.
Yeah.
And, I mean, So, well, anyhow, overall it was all right. So,
yeah, that's good. Let's get a little vacation in.
Yeah. How's your week been?
My week? It's usual. And kind of working around the house a little bit, trying to do some stuff. And making a little progress, getting prepped to disassemble a kitchen at some point here in the next couple months, maybe. I'm not too thrilled about that, but yeah.
Do that. I'm going to be doing the same thing the week after you come here and redoing my kitchen, and busy. Life, right?
Right.
So. Yeah, all right, well.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
I mean, I know it's only been a week, but that still looks really good.
I know, yeah, it does.
I'm pretty happy.
Episode number 3.
Number 3.
Episode number 3.
Another one sponsored by Cobra.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
CobraCon coming up.
CobraCon's moving right along.
I mean, we are full in depth with the CobraCon show.
We had a meeting today with drones company and getting that all lined up. Was cutting conduit for a secret something, and all sorts of stuff. So.
But CobraCon coming up April 10th through 12th, Muncie, Indiana.
Yeah.
Still time to get your tickets and come hang out and enjoy. I think their ticket sales were higher than what they were last year already. So
yeah,
seems like they're doing pretty good. As you go through, you can see some of the registrations for some of the classes, and class sizes are pretty good size. So looking forward to working on that, and at some point I should start my presentation for my class at some point, but
you're not started yet.
I mean, I'll toss it together the night before or something like that. You know, on the airplane, on the car ride there, I'll toss my presentation together. You know, something.
Can't stand that. No, I couldn't do that.
I'll get going on it probably at some point, but
yeah.
Definitely.
Get your tickets though. CobraCon.com. I guess it's Cobra-Con.com, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, need to go.
Then,
be there, be square, right?
Right, absolutely. Gonna have a good time.
Yeah. April 10th through the 12th.
And I believe Neil's going to be there. So if you want to see Neil in person,
yeah, for sure. So, well, with that, I guess we have Mr. Neil with Finale3D. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. Really, honestly, I am so glad that we have you on. Like, we've been
glad to be here.
Honestly, we've had really a lot of fun with the other 2 episodes already this season, but I think with what we're going to introduce tonight and what we're going to be talking about, I think this has probably been, I don't know, I'm looking forward to this episode and being able to release this, like, yeah, more than a lot of people realize. Like, it's great. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So
I would assume to start off with the normal, like, who is Neil? Like
let's do
who's
this,
Neil, and how did you get started in fireworks?
Well, I mean, probably about the same as everybody else says.
Right.
Just kind of grew up. I always kind of liked fireworks. When I was younger, I mean, I wasn't too much into fireworks. Around the 4th of July, you go. Well, from where I'm at in Iowa, it wasn't legal to sell fireworks here, so we had to go across the border, jump down to Missouri, get fireworks, which, everybody from Iowa was familiar with that as a kid. These days it's a little different, it's a little easier. People could sell fireworks here now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I wasn't that much into fireworks until probably really around 2021, I think, is when I started getting a little deeper in things, where I kind of decided, like, this is fun. I could get way into this and, have a really good time. And so started just learning everything I could, mostly just by myself to begin with.
Yeah.
Kind of worked up to doing some e-firing and things in the yard with, cheap Chinese system, that kind of thing. Eventually moved up to getting some Cobra gear. You know the story, how that goes. Big pyro musicals in the backyard. The neighbors are like, what's going on? Crazy stuff, because they're like sort of like club-sized shows in my backyard.
Yeah.
And, just kind of went from there. Actually, here's an interesting fact that I think most people probably don't know. What originally got me in the Cobra ecosystem, and actually in the Finale3D ecosystem, I started making my own firing system. Which
Really?
Yeah, because, from the Chinese stuff, it's like, these are okay, but, they're pretty limited what you can do. Yeah. It's not like you can do a lot of scripting and things. So I got a little ways down that road, and then I kind of fell into the Cobra stuff, where it's like, these guys are already doing everything I was going to do, like, but, they've already done it, and it's like basically exactly how I was going to do it. So I just kind of figured it's going to cost too much, it's not going to be worth it. I'll jump into that because other people already know what that is, So yeah, it's kind of how I got into to where I am, and then everything just kind of has just gotten bigger from there. Meet other people, go to different places, join pyro clubs. PGI, I think, was my first big event. That was pretty eye-opening. First PGI, and so from then I'm just hooked now. Like, can't get me away.
Yeah, most definitely, for sure. So, let's see. What events are you going to be attending this year? I mean, obviously with your role.
Or events you have attended, like even in the past.
Yeah. Let's start with what have you attended so far?
Oh, I mean, I've been to most all the big events in the Midwest over the last few years here. So, PGI. I go to things like Mid-States down in Missouri at Hales. Went to the Lone Star Fireworks Festival this last year.
Oh, very good.
So that's the furthest one, I think, is Lone Star. That's down in Texas. It's kind of a long drive for me in Iowa.
Yeah, but, for sure.
Been to Kansas, Thunder on the Plain there. Been to Sooner Skyfire Showdown in Oklahoma. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Cobra Con, of course. Everybody knows Cobra Con here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Been there the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Have you dipped your toes into any shows at any of those events you've been at? I mean, have you been putting on any shows that people might know of, or?
Not really. Oh, I guess I did a show with local fireworks people here at the Iowa Fireworks Farm. We put on a show. Yeah, Jason Murfeld and I put on a show at the Thunder on the Plain show in Kansas. Kind of a funny story with that show. That was actually a smaller show built for like a parking lot, a high school parking lot that we did up here in Iowa. And then we figured, hey, let's just take this to Thunder on the Plain, add a couple more things in here and just kind of spread it out. And, it worked. It's another show that people get to watch. So it was kind of fun. But other than that, mostly just helping other people, help with scripting here and there, help with setting up the shows. Most importantly, help with cleanup, that part nobody likes.
That everybody hates.
All right.
Yeah. So, I just like to help other people out. I mean, I do my own shows, but I think most people probably have never seen a Neil show, really. Like, they kind of happen in my yard, so it's an exclusive club.
I get you out there in the Pro-Am somewhere,
If I weren't so busy right now.
Yeah. You free up by PGI, right?
Well, everybody thinks that, It's like, oh, yeah. But then right after that, there's something else. It's like, oh, yeah.
Everybody's, like, starting to freak out about all the competitions, and then you're in Zoom meetings all the time, right?
Well, not so much, but I'm always working on things, so, I mean, meetings a little bit, but I tend to keep pretty busy working on things, so.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes a lot of my time.
Yeah. And obviously this year you got PGI in your backyard pretty much this year.
Yeah, can't complain about that. That's awesome.
Probably a super short drive for you, probably, isn't it?
It's actually about an hour and a half. But as far as PGI goes, that's like my backyard.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And obviously you'll be at PGI probably this year. Any plans for anything at PGI, or you just go hang out and just enjoy it?
This year I'm just kind of going with the Finale crew, so going to be hanging out at the Finale booth.
Right on.
Probably help out in the field a little bit, if I get some time or whatever. But be there in some capacity at least.
Kind of touch briefly on clubs, right? You touched briefly on clubs a little bit. What clubs are you in, and participate with and enjoy?
Oh yeah, so clubs. I mean, PGI, part of PGI.
Yeah.
Part of KCAP, which I think Donnie, you've probably heard of them.
A little bit, just a little bit. Yeah.
Part of KCAP, part of Mo Pyro, which Mo Pyro and KCAP kind of have these club things where I have to choose which side I'm on. It's like I'm on rival clubs. So I'm also part of the Oklahoma Pyrotechnics Club, which is a little far away, but there's cool people down there too. Surprisingly, I'm not part of any Iowa club, which is kind of weird, but it's really just because I haven't made it to any of the events. They're kind of about as far away from me as Mo Pyro or KCAP events, so I'm kind of right in the middle, like a no man's land of pyro clubs.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's it. Actually, those 3 clubs. Well, 4 if you count PGI. So yeah.
Right on.
Gives you lots of opportunities there to meet with people and interact. And I mean, you're on the KCAP Discord. It gets crazy over there.
Oh yeah, it does.
I still need to get the insider scoop on this one.
Need the insider link to the KCAP. I mean, you can be the public channel, but I mean, I don't think I can sneak into the fun channels.
That channel's not as fun. I can speak from experience. You want to get in the other ones,
In the other ones.
You just gotta send us some money, and we'll get you in there. I mean,
what if I send fireworks?
And fireworks, right? I mean, send me the fireworks. I'll pay for it. I mean, I guess you gotta send me the fireworks. I mean, the equivalent amount of fireworks.
$100.
$100 for the fireworks. We'll get you in probably.
All right. See if I can get you those at CobraCon.
Wholesale value, not retail.
Oh, come on. I've seen those. Best tier pricing.
I've seen those wholesale prices, David. I've seen that. I've seen those price lists.
So you do shows in your backyard? Do you do shows any other spots then, or?
I mean, not really. Not the shows that are just kind of Neil shows. They're just throw some stuff together out here. Other than helping other people out. Yeah. Usually, so yeah.
Just like friends and family type of shows that you do in the backyard then, or?
Yeah, like, 4th of July shows. I mean, most people don't really do pyro musicals for 4th of July shows. Well, except people like us, but we're the crazy ones. Yeah. So, dump a, 500, 600, 700 Q show out in the driveway for 4th of July or whatever. Yeah. Maybe New Year's too. So, at most probably a couple shows a year to do out here.
Right on. How far spread is your field? I mean, your setup?
I mean, it kind of depends on what I'm shooting and sort of what angles, but I mean, it's not huge. I mean, it's really not huge for the kind of stuff I shoot out here.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple 100 feet, really.
Yeah,
it's about
that's
it.
Good.
Yeah, 275 maybe, pushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, for a small backyard show, I mean that's
awesome. I mean, really,
that's good size. Yeah,
start trimming trees or shooting product in the trees, and then they trim themselves.
Well, it's the neighbor's trees, and it's kind of got like a shoot over a road, so.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It's a little iffy, but I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so it's not too bad.
That does help for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the infamous Neil YouTube channel. Everything shot by the cell phone.
Well, not everything, but
not
largely.
Everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that, especially lately. Well, I say lately, but for over a year. Yeah, I've just been running with like an iPhone setup because it's so much easier to just throw down and start shooting.
You already have it with you, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I use it just for that. Like,
oh, do you? Okay.
It's my camera. It's an iPhone.
Yeah.
But yeah, shoot with the iPhone, get pretty good quality video with the way I shoot. I mean, there are things about it I don't really like the resolution isn't super great, tiny aperture, so you can only do so much with it. But you get pretty good colors. You get to see what's going on, so it works pretty well for as easy as it is to transport and kind of set up, and then also editing afterwards. It's a lot easier and quicker than something like any of the crazier camera. I mean, I have nicer cameras, but this just works a lot easier. So
yeah, makes sense.
Any type of uniqueness you have, like your setup, you use like external mics, or you use anything additional equipment that you attach to your phone to shoot those?
Yeah, so I actually use a special app that lets you record in some higher fidelity and sort of it requires color grading afterwards. It kind of mutes everything a lot so that you can get a higher dynamic range. You can actually record sort of slightly better quality than just the base iPhone app, like the iPhone camera app.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds a little bit of extra step afterwards. You do have to color correct it and then export the video from there. And I do use external mic. Usually I use a Zoom H1 with a dead cat muff on the end that helps kill some of that the wind noise, because that's one of the biggest problems when you're recording a fireworks show. If you care about the audio at all, is the wind. I mean, a little bit of wind just ruins everything, and then it's like it doesn't matter how good the video is if it's the whole time.
Yep, exactly.
So, it works pretty well though. It's small, it's easy to carry around, so helps a lot at these events. I mean, you guys know these events. Sometimes you're just you're running and gunning the whole time. You don't have a lot of time to set up extra things like a camera and a tripod and set up all the video equipment. If you can just throw a tripod down with an iPhone on it, a lot easier.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially when you're working on a show, like the camera setup is the last thing you're thinking about when you're out there working on a show or helping a show up.
Right. You're more worried about making sure that those last cues are plugged in, last minute, and
trying your audio checks in. You're like, oh man, I got to break my camera up. You're trying to get it all out there, tossed together. If you use just your iPhone setup, something that's quick and simple like that, where you can set it up quick and easy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, quick plug, what's your YouTube is at Neil Fireworks, right?
Yeah, just Neil Fireworks.
Right
on. It's intentionally kind of stupid and simple, because it's like if somebody's just looking for it, it's like, oh yeah, they know Neil's name and they know fireworks. Just type Neil Fireworks, and it's like, yep, there it is.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, we'll put that in the description, obviously, and see what we can.
It's kind of just a place I just sort of dump some videos. Really, I mean, I don't really try to make it a big YouTube channel or anything, but it's been a good place to to put videos when when I've recorded videos and other people want to see them, or I want them for reference, things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff missing from there. I mean, I've recorded a lot that's just not on there because time constraints or whatever. So I have a lot of footage that's just not there. So people have seen me recording a lot more places than the footage they'll see on that channel.
And I guess let's get into a little bit about your role in Finale. So what are you kind of heading there, and what are you doing for Finale?
So Finale3D, I guess for people who don't know, I'm part of the Finale3D crew. So there aren't very many of us, but quality over quantity. Yeah,
for sure.
As we like to say. What I'm doing at Finale3D is a lot of web-based development. So I don't know, people might have noticed that Finale3D has kind of a new website over the last year or so.
Yep.
That's largely been work that I've been doing.
Okay.
Kind of working on some other things behind the scenes that are, top secret.
Yeah.
Can't be saying anything about those, but keep your eyes peeled. There'll be some cool stuff coming out.
Right on.
Pretty soon. I'm sure you'll probably start hearing about some cool things that we've been working on together.
We don't get like the special top secret kind of view of what's coming. I mean,
not just yet. Eventually, though, yeah.
We're gonna have to ask Drew. We talked to Drew if we get a top secret peek at what's coming up, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, I mean, trying to do some cool things that should help out the whole pyro community, really. As far as just things that make it easier to script shows. Really, a lot of this. One of the big pushes we've had lately is just building sims. Kind of expanding the sim catalogs, because as you guys know, there's no shortage of real world fireworks and new products coming in all the time, and it's impossible to keep up with building sims for those. But we've been trying to get out some better sims, at least for some of the more popular things, and we've made some pushes to kind of revamp some of the old catalogs that aren't so great. So that's kind of something we've got going on that's just always ongoing. But lately we've been making more of a push towards that.
Yeah, I will say I know I've been talking to Ed at Dominator, and you guys have been doing that, and I think I knew he was talking to, I don't know if he was talking to just you or Drew or you as well, but maybe people don't know, but there is not a VDL for smoke, like up to and I sent we sent Ed the CobraCon national anthem, and he's like, I thought you were doing a smoke show, and we're like, well, there's nothing we can do. He's like, oh well, send that to me. I'm working with Drew now. And I think it was like 2 days later, and he's like, oh yeah, here you go. And it's like, I don't remember if it was 1, 2, or 3. I can't remember how many it was, but it was like, well, this now looks like smoke. And I'm like, oh, that's, yeah. So it's like, we're getting, like, I feel like, as consumers of the Finale3D, like we're I know I was excited to see a smoke-ish effect. So seeing that coming to life is really going to be very much needed, because I think smoke it's becoming extremely popular. Yeah.
People ask all the time for smoke sims. They're like, oh, do you guys have smoke mines or like any of this smoke effects? It's like, well, not really. I mean, we would like to, but now we do have some things. We still don't have a VDL term for smoke, so it's not as easy as just typing it in. But we do have some smoke effects, like you said, in the Dominator catalog. So
wonderful.
It's a step in the right direction.
It is.
And I did see recently, I think it came out where now your catalogs are like verified, that they're the most accurate, kind of they're up to date and actually what they're supposed to look like. Yeah.
Yep. So if you look at the Finale supplier catalog names now, the ones that are verified, that have good sims that we have either made on the Finale team ourselves or have had qualified sim makers create that we have then vetted, those say Finale verified. So you can kind of rest assured that those sims match the manufacturer demos pretty closely.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually...
I'll have to get on the ArtKM when I get that thing verified, dude.
That's right. You gotta have good sims first, though. I don't know. I haven't looked them all.
You can look at them.
I don't know.
No, I know I had somebody...
Sims, don't you?
Huh?
Said you guys have a lot of sims, don't you?
So I was making them... Let me see. I don't even know how many we have.
We're gonna start pulling up all your sims.
Yeah, go ahead. Criticize
we're gonna start scoring your sims.
I have 294 sims in there.
Okay, that's a pretty good catalog.
Yeah. So, and of course it's the stuff that we don't have in there, like the 2-minute compound cakes that people are like, we want that. I'm like, I mean, sure, I get that, but to me, all right, it's not my top priority to put a 2-minute compound cake in there when I could put like a 1-effect cake in there. It's easier to design, and for me, like, as a show designer, I'm not going to put a 2-minute cake in a Pyro musical, and if I am, I'm just going to put like a dummy placeholder in there and let it run. So, I mean, sure, eventually down the road, I'll probably get to it, or see if we can get it built. But I don't know.
They take a while. I mean, it takes time building those compound cakes with like 20 effects in it.
I built one shell, an 8-inch shell, and it took me 2.5 hours to figure out how to get it to work right. And I was like, yeah, okay, so that's one shell. You want me to do 259 effects in a cake? So
I'm
going to work on
AI,
the easier stuff.
AI bots to create sims
AI
bots to create sims.
Yeah.
Yep, you get it figured out. Send me a link.
I was messing around with Chat GPT, and I was like, do you know what Finale3D is? I don't know. Have you guys ever tried that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we know what it is. And I think I was like, can you create a sim and it was like, yeah. And then I did it, and it's like, we don't understand that. I was like, okay, well, that's disappointing. But I feel like we're working in the right direction. But
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually have built some little AI helpers that can write VDL.
Oh, really?
They're not very good at it. So
yeah,
nothing really worth using, but
just
kind of
need
a fun
some
thing.
integrations into the Chat GPT where you, that's what it was. I think I put the YouTube link of the show, and I was like, read this and create a VDL on this cake, and it didn't do it.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Yes, it would be so much easier.
The problem with those bots, you take so much data, you have to feed them ahead of time for them to learn from that. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to use that stuff at work now, where we'll run our code through AI bot to help clean it up and format it properly and all that kind of stuff, and check for errors and mistakes. It's just wild the amount of stuff out there you can do with these bots these days.
Yeah, the AI is pretty ubiquitous now, so it's only a matter of time before we can give it a video and get a VDL.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's what we need. Yeah,
that would make.
We won't even need Finale at some point. We'll just have AI. Will just create all of our stuff for us, right?
Yeah, just say give me a script.
Give me a script.
Format.
I want 13 positions, no larger than 6-inch shells, no deeper than 30-degree angles. Go. That will be the day. I mean, I'm sure it's coming, but
just give it a Google Map location. Say this is where the shoot is, and this is the song I want. Give me the show.
Yep.
And you have a factory.
You probably won't even have to do that.
You'll just hold your product and matching it for you, right? You have a factory floor robot that pulls the product labels that matches it for you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You just give it a GPS pin, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to pull music that's popular in this geolocation, and then poof, it just populates a popular song there, and you're done.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Neil, has your background always been into like web development and stuff like that, or?
I mean, kind of. I do a lot of things actually. So, I used to be a game developer, and I used to make like Android apps. Was kind of one of my first forays to, I mean, not really first forays. Before that, I was sort of a web developer too. But one of the first times I was actually making money doing like programming related things. And then, since then, I just do kind of general software engineering stuff too. It's not all strictly web based. But I've done a lot of UX and UI design too. So a lot of front end development. I mean, the UI UX stuff kind of comes from the game development world too, where that's more important than how well the game works. A lot of times, if you can make people think they like it, it doesn't matter if it works right. You know what I mean? If people like it, it works. So kind of going from that, and then I mean, it's kind of funny. That's sort of how I got involved with the Finale team. A couple years ago, I started using Finale3D, and then had some problems and some things, and I ended up making a few bug reports to Drew and the guys. It's like, hey, this is a problem, or this is an issue, and they could kind of tell that I was like writing these like a software developer. And then I kind of had some things I was working on the side too, that little Finale helpers and things. So I talked to the guys, and it's like, I don't know if you're looking for somebody to hire or anything, but this is kind of the stuff that I do, and to me it looks like maybe the Finale team could use some of that. So if you're looking for an extra person, I'm available. I'm not doing anything right now, and it all just kind of worked from there, and ended up full time on the Finale team.
This is the Pyro Unleashed Cake Review, brought to you by PGI.
Since its founding in 1969, the PGI has been dedicated to helping you do whatever you love and want to do in fireworks, legally and safely. Whether this is enjoying consumer fireworks with family and friends, becoming a firework display operator, learning how fireworks are made, photographing firework displays, collecting pyro memorabilia, or all these things and everything in between, there are PGI members that share the same passions. This year, PGI is holding their annual convention in Boone, Iowa, from August 2nd to the 9th.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So tonight's cake is going to be from Tako Pyrotechnics. It is called Manada de Lobos, 18-shot, 500-gram cake. This is a 2025 pre-production video, so I'm assuming it's probably on the water somewhere on its way. Looks like 76 put this out in their videos just a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to toss it up here, take a little watch, and see what we think. It's definitely a consumer cake, so when you watch it, kind of think it from that mindset. Okay, there we go.
That was good.
Kind of an interesting little cake.
Yeah. Interesting mix-up. I like the way it broke it up with the howls. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think if you notice, I mean, it had the three howls, and so there's the three wolves in the front. So I'm assuming that's probably the howl, the similar it is there. About 30-second cake-ish. Yeah. What do we think?
Yeah. Overall. I think it was good. I don't know, on a 1 to 10 scale. I don't know. I mean, it was good. I couldn't really see the coloring, so premature number, I'd probably say 6.5. Had a crackle finale, so that kind of, I don't know, brings it down a little bit for me. I mean, but that being said, it's a consumer cake, right? So
there you go, yeah.
That's what they're all about, the howl and the crackle.
Yeah. Neil, so your thoughts on crackle, I guess. You're a crackle guy, not a crackle guy?
I mean, crackle has its place, but, as a show guy, crackle, it's just doesn't need to be in every cake. It doesn't need to be the last row of everything.
No.
The cake wasn't bad. I think I'd probably go with David, maybe like a 6.5. Yeah. I liked that the strobing on the mines matched the shells. So if you were just taking single effects, those first few rows would be cool to use. With the charcoal willows with the white strobe, and then there was the charcoal with the red and green. Those were nice. The howls were nice. Didn't care so much for the crackle, but as a consumer cake, especially with the howls, those are pretty cool for consumers. People like those, especially in a consumer cake.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'm kind of that same way. Yeah, I think a lot of the single effects that were really nice. The howls. You don't see a lot of howls like that in the consumer world. So hopefully they don't. They work as intended.
Especially fan howls.
Oh yeah, they like that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and then they were breaking two brocades, so that kind of gave you that that similar effect that kind of matched the shells as well.
So I guess my question, howls just kind of go wherever they want. So does fanning a howl actually matter?
It does. I didn't figure it would as much as it actually does, but I've done a lot of testing with that, and they stay pretty straight usually.
Okay.
Blows my mind. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get the premise behind it. I just just a little weird. So.
It's kind of interesting, yeah. I love that same line. I would say about a 6.5ish on something like that. Yeah, I mean, I would probably use it in a show potentially. Yeah. We talked about catalogs. I was kind of curious. What is the largest catalog out there as far as effect size?
Oh, I'm not sure exactly which one is the largest, but some of them are pretty large. So, one I was actually just looking at the other day has 6,373 items in it. So that's one that's pretty big. I don't know if that's the largest.
It isn't that like the generic one. It's like an actual like.
Yeah, that's like an actual brand. That's Dancing Fireworks is what that one is.
Wow.
Wow.
So, the generic effects has 6,602. So that's a lot, but those are generic effects.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the Dancing Fireworks
has like 1,400, right?
Similar. I can't remember. They've got a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Next Effects has 10,116.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So see, some of them get pretty big. I mean, you get into these 1.3 catalogs where they have 5 sizes of 50 different effects. I mean, that's already a whole bunch of effects, and then you add some cakes and a bunch of single shots and things, and it adds up.
Yeah, for sure.
So if somebody wants to create a catalog for their effect, like what is that process to have that set up?
Well, there's a couple different ways. Mostly these supplier catalogs are supplied by the supplier. So like David was saying with the RKM catalog, he was making those sims. Yeah. And it does cost a little bit extra on top of the Finale subscription. Unless you have, if you're a pro subscriber, it's actually, you can get a catalog as just kind of part of that subscription.
Yeah.
And I mean, generally speaking, it's not really like it costs too much if you're just a hobbyist subscriber. So if you really don't use the software that much, but you still want a catalog, you can. But a lot of these people, they're making shows and they're using Pro anyway. So, it's not that big of a deal to get a catalog added. The real work is making the sims. So like, that's kind of, that's the hang up. People generally have to make their own sims. I mean, eventually it might not be that way. It could get to a point where, maybe Finale has a team set aside that can make sims for people. We do a little bit of that now, but with time and resources so limited, it's kind of hard to say we can do that for everybody, or for every case. We try to prioritize the things that we think are going to be best for people that kind of work into, our timing and sort of our business plan with the way things are. So generally we don't make the catalogs for people, but I can't say like, David, if you wanted to give us $1,000 a cake, I'll go make your catalog tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Like I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I know that there are people out there, trying to charge to do, VDLs, and I mean, sure, yeah, I mean, it's everybody can do that, I guess, but it's just, I know for the Finale3D or the RKM catalog, kind of for me, it's I'm just trying to get them in as quickly as I can, and I probably should have had time to get some in the last, I don't know, couple of months, but just been busy with other stuff, and obviously getting ready for CobraCon. It's 6 months, 5 months early, but it's big Pyro musicals just don't get done overnight. They take months of planning, and so there's been a lot of sacrifice from being able to get our catalog done to be able to get the show. So like you're saying, it's a lot of prioritizing, and unfortunately it just kind of goes on the back burner, and it's not against anybody really. It's just it's not at the top of the list of things to do. So.
Well, it can get kind of tedious if you're making a whole bunch of sims. If you're doing the whole catalog in one go, just takes a lot of time. I mean, fortunately, there's a lot of time you sink into it learning VDL that kind of pays off later, where it's like, you get a lot faster as you start making things, and the last 10 sims you make don't take nearly as long as the first 10 sims you make, but they still take some time.
For sure.
We'd like to get a lot more people making good sims, so that helps everybody. If we can get a way for people to share sims, and everybody start making contributions for sims they have, I mean, there's a little bit of that now, but hopefully more of that in the future.
I was gonna say, isn't there a spot on the mean, kind of jumping ahead here, but on the Finale3D Discord for that to share VDLs.
There is, yeah. Not a lot of people use it, so but I know of a few different places that are kind of like that, little collections where people share VDLs. But it's nothing like official or super well organized and not really upkept. So it's it's messy, but it does help out here and there when people need a certain sim and they can find it in one of those places. Yeah.
So,
kind of talking about some of that. I know there is a cake creator tool out there. How does that come into play for somebody who maybe is wanting to create a cake? Is that kind of a place to kind of start, or should you just start with just typing out VDL? I mean, it really depends. I mean, the easiest way to make a cake is probably just to open Finale3D and just lay out your shots. Like, make each effect just with VDL, and lay out your shots how you want them in the timeline, and then combine those to make a cake. I would say that's probably the easiest way. Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with the cake creator that you're talking about. I think it's probably the one I'm thinking of. And that's another way, which is basically the same thing. It's just kind of laid out more on just different user interface, where timing and stuff is kind of set up for you automatically per row. Yeah. So I mean, either one really. If you're doing it in Finale3D though, you actually get sort of live previews as you're making your VDL effects and things. So that's generally the easiest way to get into it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with the cake creator though. I mean, if somebody likes to make their cakes that way, that's great too. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And then, like I said, I know I just kind of touched on the Finale Discord. I know I was just looking at the Finale3D.com, and under the community tab, there is a forum. And I was kind of looking through here, and actually somebody was talking about the Dominator catalog, and welcome to Finale3D, introductions, feature requests, discussion topic for Pyro Jam. In your experience, do you feel like, I don't want to say one is better than the other. It kind of obviously Finale's forum is obviously the spot to go, but do you? I mean, I guess you want to talk about both of them, I guess, a little bit, and talk about both of them.
Yeah. So the Finale Discord is actually just kind of an unofficial thing. Yeah. That's just kind of on the side. So it's more of a place for Finale users to come hang out and kind of chit chat a little bit, a little less formal. Yeah. I mean, like I'm on there, and I think Drew's a member too, but I don't know that he actually visits it that much. It's because it's really not an official communication channel, but it's still kind of nice to have because any little bit of social interaction that we can kind of, I think, facilitate for the community is good. The forums, though, are really going to be the place where if you have something like a Finale feature request or bug reports, things like that, those work a lot better on the forum because that's kind of an official channel that we monitor for that kind of thing. So I mean, really, they kind of both have their uses.
For sure.
Discord, like I said, is a little more informal, kind of good place to chit chat, share VDL stuff. Not necessarily demanding the full attention of the Finale team. Kind of a good place just for us users to hang out. Yeah. But the forum is actually a pretty good place to go if you're looking for information too. Also the help center, which I think gets skipped over a lot when people are kind of wondering about Finale3D. We have a really good help center. Okay. There's a lot of information there. There's documentation about pretty much everything Finale related. There are a lot of videos too. Most of the videos are Drew, explaining things, walking through things. But all that you can search if you just go to the help center. There's kind of just an overall general search, which actually searches the forums too. Okay. And I think a lot of people don't know that that's there, or it's underutilized.
I will say, I think I've been in here like once or twice, but this is there's a lot more in here.
Yeah, I've used it quite a bit. I've used that little help center before. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure something out. I'll just go type in the help center, and it will pop up like forum question to documentation tutorials. It pops all that up for you that's related. Yeah, it's really kind of a cool place to be able to go and be able to search for what you're looking for a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see things that pop up that maybe aren't even, they're somewhat related.
Yeah.
That might also help benefit what you were looking at as well. So it's,
Really
one of
cool.
the most useful pages on there is the VDL glossary. So for people making saves and things,
I have
that's like
seen
your
that.
best friend.
That has helped me create. That actually, I think I was 2 hours in creating that 1 8-inch shell, and I'm like, there's got to be a way. And then it was like 30 minutes of that, and I figured it out just because of that, the VDL glossary. So, if you have like an office where you script, honestly, that's probably not a bad thing to print out and like tack on your wall or something. Like, it is a lifesaver and a game changer.
It's not ginormous too. There's a lot
Oh
of
my god,
information.
there is so many in there.
I mean, it's all the VDL terms, so it's like
Right.
everything you can do with VDL, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it looks like a lot of them actually have videos associated with them as well, which I
describe-
did not,
yeah.
which I didn't see that before when I've been here before. Is now I just realized that a lot of these do have a little video clip you can click on and it will show you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you want to be a master sim builder, that's your place to start, and just kind of leave a tab open with that all the time.
So now these ones that say not tuned are those ones that are not in Finale essentially.
Yeah. So those are terms that don't really do anything. That might be a term you might think does something. So I think that's why a lot of those are listed. It's just like to show you this is we recognize this as a term that you might see describing fireworks, but it's not something that actually does something with VDL right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like ones like spider, right? Like you have the spider effect on fireworks, but it's something that's not currently tuned for Finale.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you guys even go down to like, and plus,
Those are pretty important.
Yeah, I mean,
And the order in which you use some of those terms also changes the way the effect looks, correct?
yeah.
Depending on which terms and kind of how you use them, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty flexible in, things that you would, like you could say peony red, that's the same as red peony, but, like you couldn't say red to green is not the same as green to red, which is not the same as red and green.
Yeah.
Or red plus green is different too. So.
Yeah.
The plus and the and always got me. And
Yeah.
I would be doing one and realize I should have been doing the other,
Yeah. Plus is like it's a different effect.
Yeah.
And is the same effect. Just, two different
Yeah,
colors.
combining those colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
VDL language essentially, is that a custom language specifically to Finale?
Yeah. Yep.
So
It's
it's a language that Finale is just created on their own as to this is what we use to describe fireworks essentially.
Yep. As far as I know, it's really the only fireworks language that is anywhere near this comprehensive where, they've actually had to define, okay, what is a peony or what is a willow? What's the difference between a willow and a palm? Like you can't call them both the same thing. They have to look different, And it's made to largely work by taking the visual descriptions you get from fireworks and turn them into effects automatically. So, you don't need to know, you don't need to actually make the particle sims yourself. You just say, oh, I want a red peony. I want like a 6-inch red peony, and it works. Or 6-inch green with I don't know, 6-inch palm with green stars. Like, you could have a shell that says that. You can just directly type that description into the VDL field and get something that's pretty close. So yeah, it's actually a pretty cool feature.
I mean, because in a way that's a form of like AI, right? Because you're giving it a description and it's translating that into the code behind the scenes to generate your images.
I mean, kind of. It's more of like really, really complicated nested if-then statements.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, that's what AI is too, I guess. It's just more complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of manual tuning, really. That's something I haven't actually worked in, but the other guys, they've got a lot of time into making the VDL as good as it is.
There, I'm just going to dive into just if there's any maybe cool little tips or little features about Finale3 that maybe people might not know about, that are out there that you might be aware of. Maybe something that people aren't taking advantage of.
I might know a thing or two. I guess it really depends on the version you're running. So, like, one thing that I think a lot of people don't use enough of, which, you know, applies to hobbyist and pro, a lot of this isn't in the light version, but just the like the sequence scripting options, like, you know, spreading things out evenly or making things into a sequence. I mean, they seem really basic, but I've helped people a lot where they didn't even realize those were there. You know, they've been building shows and it's like they didn't know you could spread things out evenly so quickly. It's like, yeah, you just push a button and, you know, it's basically it. Some of the things that are actually the coolest, I think, that are pretty new are some of the new racking features in Pro, which are actually really cool. Racking and then some new reporting features in Pro are actually pretty cool too. We got these hybrid reports now where you can see like rack diagrams and tables that show information, which you know wasn't there before. Those are, I think, going to be really helpful for a lot of people out in the field.
I'm going to tell you, I know, like, next weekend, Donnie, is going to be, like, that one report specifically is going to change setup. I mean, it is literally going to change the way I do setup for shows.
We had that meeting with Drew, and Drew showed us that one day. We were like, holy smokes, this is amazing.
I mean, sure, you print off 200 pages, and then you just give these 3 pages to this guy building this rack, 3 pages to this guy building this rack, and it's like, done. I mean, it tells you where to drop the cue, where to put it in the rack. I mean, everything. It's on those 2 to 3 pages.
And you get the visual diagram. The visual diagram, I think, is really what makes that key.
And I know Drew was saying something about maybe getting the angle, even in that little in the diagram itself, so it tells you exactly what angle, as well as the color glossary in there as well.
So that would be cool.
Yeah. Wonder who's doing that. No.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that anytime soon.
I don't know. But yeah. Any other tips or tricks kind of before we go?
Just like I said with the sequences, you know, the angles and things like that too, I would just encourage users to check out those menus, like check out the script menu. Like, look at all those things that are there. You might find a thing that's there that you just didn't even realize Finale did so easily, and it's like, oh, well, I can use that. That's cool. Like the spread out accelerating, things like that. That's just, it's kind of a rare use case where you would want that. But if you know that's in your toolbox, now you can use that, you know, where it's like, as you know, before you may not even think to put like an accelerating section in where, you know, it might be kind of cool to have. Now you know that's something you can do easily. So, I would just say check those out. That was
actually one I used for our Skywars 23 show at the end of the show, where you're shooting up a bunch of shells. You want to kind of speed up towards your finale.
Oh, yeah.
You just drop a bunch of shells in there. You do the accelerator. You play with the values
the
between 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Between you play with the values of 1 to 10 to kind of get what that kind of sequence will look like, and then it starts off and it slowly, gradually picks up at the end, and then you can kind of just lay the different levels of shells in there, and it's kind of a little bit of a cheat code, I guess.
Yeah, and I know, what was it, in 21, I actually was taking sequence, I was taking like you were talking about the perfect spacing, right? So say I knew I had 100 and, let's just say 150 3-inch shells, and I knew I wanted them all to go off, say 3 seconds apart. I could go in there, just tell it 3 seconds apart, it put it all in there, and then I just laid it on that area. Or if I knew my finale, I needed to be 43 seconds, I could put all of them in there. And then I would just grab, you know, say I had only 54s, I would grab them, put those in there, divide it by the 45 seconds, then lay it down. And it wasn't like dropping and trying to land these cues perfectly. It just did it easy. And the finale became, you know, it was big, and it was really not a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, save people time and work with the scripting. So,
yeah, exactly.
Those can be really helpful.
That's part of the motto, right? Ready for showtime in no time?
That's right.
This is Pyro News, brought to you by Dominator Fireworks.
All right, Pyro News, sponsored by Dominaire Fireworks.
Yes, it is.
Dominaire brand fireworks is one of China's fastest growing fireworks brands. Dominaire Fireworks covers all categories of fireworks, including consumer fireworks and professional display pyrotechnics. In addition to the Dominaire brand name, they produce many private label products for their customers. Dominaire can custom manufacture or procure any product to your exact packaging and product specifications, or they can recommend products to suit your market needs. So today's Pyro News, this is a little bit kind of related, I guess, to old news, new news, I guess, update to old news. So I know over New Year's, there was a lot of firework injuries and deaths that happened in Hawaii around a lot of just chaos, right? And so one of the articles I found actually just came out today, which this is February 4th, so you'll be hearing this a little bit later, but there've been a lot more arrests they've been making in those connections that killed 5 people. Obviously they had a lot of incidents that it injured more than 20, killed 5. They had the explosion that occurred around midnight, and when a appeal party lit a firework cake containing around 50 individual aerial fireworks that tipped over, shooting into others, and other crates that were also filled with fireworks, and it was just craziness. And so in the investigation, they've obviously been able to arrest some people. And told there was 23 adults and 3 minors that were seriously injured and all that. And so it's kind of what I wanted to kind of go through a little bit on kind of some of the safety stuff around some of that, and just that, they are actively working towards this. And actually, the arrest total now is up to 10 people who have been arrested in this incident at this point. And so they just recently started to announce arrests were as early as January 24th. They had made arrests of a man and woman who were charged with reckless endangering and endangering the welfare of minor in multiple firework offenses. The pair was accused of lighting illegal fireworks and allowing their 3 children, 15, 10, and 1, to light fireworks as well. A 1-year-old lighting fireworks, yeah.
Oh, my word.
The pair were arrested on January 24th. And then there was new arrests that were shared here when another couple was arrested. A 35-year-old man, 30-year-old woman, and a 32-year-old man and 29-year-old woman were also arrested. Very same thing, reckless endangering. All 4 of the residents were home when the explosion took place. The first couple had 4 minor children present at the event, all of whom were injured but treated nearby hospitals. Second couple had 2 minor children with them who were not hurt. And then on January 31st, 2 more adult couples who had children present at the party was arrested. The kids were 11 and 9. And so all these people were charged with reckless endangering of kids. I'm sure some of that probably also has to do with the fireworks being illegal in general. So you're trying to make a bigger statement, right? Because children present, fireworks are illegal. Even though the kids weren't hurt that were there, these particular kids weren't hurt. Their parents are still charged with endangering kids because the act of having the fireworks themselves is illegal, right? So probably just one of these things where they're obviously trying to make I think a big statement, and hopefully maybe in the future it will help make some of this a little bit safer for them over there.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I didn't realize there was like a 1-year-old. That just it boggles my mind. Like I have a 1-year-old and I have a 2-year-old, and no.
Yeah, and then there was another couple that was arrested. A 29-year-old man and 20-year-old woman were charged. The couple allegedly ignited fireworks with their 1-year-old child at the event. So I mean, it happened with more than just one little kid. I mean, but they're continuing to investigate. I'm sure there'll probably going to be some more arrests and stuff like that. But it's just wild, and when you're especially in an island like that, right? Like all the fireworks can only come in one way for the most part, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And
exactly.
yet they still get over there, and it's just it's madness.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's like when Neil opened the store. I opened up the show, right? If you couldn't buy fireworks in Iowa, what did you do? You went across the border. I mean, it was.
You're gonna get them.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna find a way to do it. It's just.
Yeah.
Well, the thing in Iowa was it was okay to have fireworks here. You just couldn't buy them here.
Just couldn't buy them.
And it's funny because in Missouri you couldn't have them, but they could sell them. But you couldn't take them across state lines. So it's like, who's this for? Like, Yeah. So everybody went to Missouri to buy
crazy.
fireworks because, that's where you get fireworks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of wonder, is it, are you making it more unsafe by making them illegal and making people do shady stuff to get them, or are you better off making them legal and then trying to educate people the proper way to use them? Like, are you really saving people's lives and injuries by saying they're illegal and people are just smuggling them in? And who knows what they're smuggling in, right? They could be bringing in 1,3 products. It could be, it's, you don't know at that point, because it's completely unregulated, essentially,
Yeah, if it's all illegal, what's the difference between a 16-shot 200-gram cake and a 25-shot 3-inch 1-3 cake?
Yeah.
You get them both from the same guy. You're already there. That one's cooler. I want that one.
Yeah, that's So kind of something I don't know. Interesting little thought to kind of think about there. You're thinking about illegal versus making it legal and trying to educate people the proper way to do it. I mean, it's same way in California. I mean, they're illegal, but yet people are just going crazy there with them all the time.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. Got some Discord questions. I'll get started with the first one here. What advice would you give to someone new to Finale3D who wants to start designing firework displays?
Ooh, so I guess I would probably presume they're already familiar with pyro musicals and things if they're jumping into Finale3D wanting to make displays.
Yeah, I would say so.
They probably know what these things look like. I would say to just go for it. Just grab one of the catalogs. It doesn't even have to be fireworks you're familiar with. Figure out what single shots are, comets and mines, and start putting things to music. Drop a music track that you think would be cool into Finale3D. Start laying down cues and just see what it looks like. Of course, you got to kind of figure out the interface a little bit first if you're brand new. So, that's really the first step, But I don't think there's a better way to learn than just doing it, If you get stuck, look something up, go to the help center or whatever to try to figure out how to actually use Finale3D a little bit. But I would say just go for it. Just start putting fireworks on the timeline, see how it looks, see what you like, see what you don't. Figure out what you don't know how to do as you go, and just do it. That's what I would say.
It was a good way to do it, man. Hands-on experience is how you learn, man. Just get there and just start doing it.
Or try to recreate something you saw in a different show or some video somewhere. Just try to do that in Finale3D.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next question. Somebody asked, how do you stay so mellow in the pyro world?
Well, it's because all the cool people I'm always hanging out around. Duh. Of course.
For sure. Somebody asked, what's the most valuable tool you bought? I'm assuming pyro-related tool.
Oh, let's see. Pyro tools. Ooh, that's tricky. If Finale3D counts, I would say that. That helps a lot. That's way better than a pen and a pencil, out in the field somewhere.
Sure. Yeah,
or a
exactly.
spreadsheet.
Agree.
Spreadsheet there.
Yeah.
Those work, but Finale3D it's like cheating, when you compare it to those options. There's just not really a substitute for visual scripting. But I don't know if that's exactly what they want. They might want something a little more tangible.
No, that to me, that's a tool. That's very, yeah.
Yeah, tape is good.
Tape.
You can't go wrong with tape.
Tape.
It's a real bummer to run out of tape on a shoot site, so.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Everybody thinks tape's overrated when you say that's a useful tool until they don't have any.
Well, it's because everybody else has it, so why do I need to carry it,
That's true, yeah. Some of us have those $30 a roll kind of tapes.
Gaff tape and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, or even just the U-line packing tape or the U-Haul packing tape. That stuff's pretty spendy.
Yeah.
U-Haul packing tape, that's the way to go.
The U-line stuff's pretty good too. You should try that.
Duct tape works just fine.
It does, usually.
All right, and the last one we see here, what's the favorite show you've scripted?
Ooh, favorite show. Might be a bit of a toss-up. My favorite show that I scripted was probably this like blind pyro style show that we did a couple years ago in my driveway. That was after a bigger, more elaborate scripted show that just didn't work out. Had a bunch of problems. Ended up like having to call it off. Couldn't do it. But we had like a day, and I had a bunch of fireworks. So within about 24 hours, I came up with a whole new soundtrack and just like threw a bunch of leftover fireworks together, ran to the fireworks store, grabbed a few more things, and we put it all together that day. And it was actually a pretty big sort of show for that, but it was basically all just cakes kind of thrown together. It was technically scripted though. That one was probably the most fun, but I think it's a lot of it was because it was after like a really stressful week of things just not working out, and it was like just a good way to blow off steam, and
right.
That show worked out. It wasn't like a great show, but we had a lot of fun. I mean, it was a lot of fireworks for just thrown together in the driveway. So that one was pretty cool. Other than that, I had a pretty cool show last year. It was like a New Year's, kind of around New Year's show that I did that was pretty cool that nobody's seen because it was at my house and I don't have a video of it on the internet, but that one was pretty cool. I might try to redo that one this year, and if I do, I'll get some videos up. People will know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, right on. So I think it's going to start this Friday, right?
I think this Friday or next Friday, maybe.
Either this Friday or next Friday. All right.
Yeah, it's coming up. So part of the reason why Neil is here tonight, right? Because we were doing a partnership with Finale this season, and we wanted to bring Neil on to kind of talk about Finale. But part of our partnership that we've been kind of teasing, that we're actually going to be doing some hosted session.
All right, here we go.
Pyro Unleashed presents the Finale3D tip of the week, sponsored by Finale Fireworks.
We're actually going to do some hosted sessions where we're going to do some pre-recorded tips and tricks with Drew.
Yeah.
That we're going to be dropping some segments probably every couple weeks this season as a separate mini episode.
And they will be YouTube exclusive, so you can watch them as opposed to listening. So if you're a Finale3D user or you want to become a Finale3D user, I think these will be a vital tool. Honestly, not only just in the Finale3D world, but with Pyro Unleashed, getting these secondary videos out, and they should be dropping every Friday, or every other Friday, or every couple Fridays, however it plays out.
Okay, works out,
We're still kind of tweaking out or ironing out all the fine details now, but we think it's going to be a really helpful segment for you as the listener. So if you have any suggestions or tips or tricks that you would like to see done,
anything you want to see demoed, like you've got VDLs you want to see created, stuff like that, we're definitely looking for some ideas. I think part of our plan is to kind of do this as kind of the flow of like how you would script a show potentially, right? So the very first segment might be a little bit of, this is how we get started using Finale. We'll be some interaction with me, you, and Drew as we kind of walk through some of that and some Q&A and ask some questions and really kind of digging into some of those secrets like Neil was talking about that people don't know about. Some of the sequences, how to use those, when to use those, and then really I really want to dig into some of those the finer details of the VDLs and creating sims and how people can kind of do that in some of those tips. And so Drew's been very supportive and excited about this very beginning, and he really wants to be a part of it. And so we don't want to replicate like some of the work that Finale has already put out there.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I think we wanted to kind of do it as a more of like a mini session where we're all three together talking through it and kind of working through some of that stuff. So
exactly.
So the plan is this should be the Friday after this airs. We should hopefully at that point we'll have our very first kind of Finale tips and tricks kind of segment with Drew is kind of proceed through the season.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I know Drew was looking forward to it, and yeah, overall, we're excited for it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's. I know we were kind of talking off air a little bit earlier, and I think Donnie and I have been like really looking forward to making this a reality. And I know we were trying to think of some new segments to bring you guys, and Donnie brought this up, and I think it just has kind of flowed, and everything is just kind of all the stones are kind of laid in place, and we're going to be able to make it happen. And I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, it's all about like the educational side
for
of
sure,
it, right? Like want to help educate people who might be interested in this. Maybe we got people who know about Finale, but maybe they're intimidated by it, right? Like we talked about earlier, like how to get started. When you were talking about just toss stuff on the timeline, just get started. There's a lot of people that are maybe intimidated about using something new like this and don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to put something out there educational and something that's very informative for our listeners to be able to kind of help, any way that we can.
Yeah.
Besides just having guests on, just have some content out there, where, originally I thought about this idea would just be me and you, just scripting a show together and doing some segments. But then I was like, why don't we just talk with Drew? Just talk with the master himself on how to use Finale. We can hack our way through it ourselves, and it wouldn't be nearly as detailed, and we wouldn't really have all the information.
I foreseen emails coming to us from Drew, like, you did this wrong.
Definitely. So we'll be probably scanning the forums, scanning the Discord, looking for probably some ideas and stuff like that. So feel free to reach out, and definitely gonna get those ideas out there and start putting some sessions together with Drew this season. So, and then Neil, what do you have going on next in your life as far as the pyro world? What do you got coming up?
Well, I got a few things coming up. CobraCon is kind of a big one coming up. We got some things going on before that, but CobraCon's probably where I'm going to see most of the people listening to this.
Yeah, for
see
sure.
You guys there. Yeah, definitely.
You going to Western Winter Blast or?
Well, I really wanted to make it this year, but I don't think I'm going to be able to swing it. Just got too many other things going on. But
sure about the big show out there?
Yeah. I've had quite a few people reach out wanting me to make it too, and I really wanted to make it this year, but it's just I don't think it's going to work. Too many sort of prior obligations, really.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but that is one I really wanted to make it to this year. So it was on my list, but doesn't always work.
Yeah, most definitely.
Any chance you'll be out at Pyro Jam this fall too, maybe, or?
Probably not Pyro Jam, but it's one I'd like to go to sometime. It's one I haven't been to. So
it's so good. It's it's really good.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the other side of Pyro Jam, the
back end, right?
Yeah. But no, I haven't actually been there, so that's one on my list to eventually get to, though. Pyro Jam for sure.
Pyro Unleashed Final Five.
Yeah.
So if you've, so for people maybe listen, maybe not know, and obviously for Neil as well. So our plan is this season ask the same 5 questions to every guest.
Yep.
Most of them are pyro related. And then the plan is at the end of the season, when after we've aired all these, maybe do some kind of montage of the answers and just kind of see where everybody kind of felt throughout the season. So they're kind of fun, little questions. Kind of the first thing that kind of comes to mind when you kind of think about these, and have kind of fun with it. And so. Question number 1 is your favorite consumer cake.
Favorite consumer cake. Ooh, that's a tough one. I know a lot of consumer cakes these days. I would have to go with, I think, Voodoo from Great Grizzly.
Okay.
It's a good one. It's like a 10-shot, 2-inch cake. It's got some really nice strobe willows. It's a pretty good one.
All right. Question number 2. If you had to choose only one for the rest of your pyro career, are you choosing 1.4 or 1.3 product?
Oh, that's an easy one. 1.4 for sure. Yeah. That's where the fun stuff's at,
Yeah.
But if the episode if you listen to Tim Jameson's episode that's coming out, he was like, I can get comets and mines and all that in 1.3
You can, yeah, but it's easier and cheaper to get the 1.4.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just sit closer to it,
There you go.
Looks the same if you're, that much closer.
Right, just squint a little bit, look up. It's fine.
And then if you could start your fire's career all over again, anything you might do differently?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe just get involved a little earlier.
Yep.
I think maybe jump in a little sooner, start talking to more people. Earlier. Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
We're 3 for 3 on start earlier.
Oh, is that what other people said? I hadn't listened to all these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. What's your favorite thing about being in this industry?
Oh man, the people. It's all the cool people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, big pyro family,
Yeah.
Bunch of like-minded weirdos hanging out, blowing things up and spending too much money on burning things like to wow people and whatever. It's yeah, no, it's probably just the community aspect, just all the people,
Yeah.
the networking and getting to hang out, do all the cool stuff. I mean, wowing audiences is pretty cool. That's a nice form of payment. Throw away all this money and people are like, oh wow, well that's really all we get, but that's okay.
For sure.
And fifth and final, if you were a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be?
I would have to go with something like balsamic vinegar with toasted pecan.
Is that even a flavor? No.
No, it's mysterious. It sounds kind of weird, but it's pretty good if you try it. Like,
there we go.
All right.
That's fantastic.
I like it.
That's fantastic. Great.
All right. Well, I think we're coming near the end. I want to thank you, Neil, for coming on. It is
my pleasure.
Yeah, honestly, this has been a good one. Having you on and getting to know Neil and hearing what you do at Finale.
He's mysterious, and he's always lurking in the shadows. We know that. We know he's always lurking out there.
Yeah.
Always lurking.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, you bet, man.
It's been a lot of fun.
So, have you been on any other podcasts before?
No. Technically, no, I don't think so.
All right.
No.
All right. Yeah. That's what it's about. Getting you on new ones, right?
Yeah.
Trying something out new and yeah. All right.
I think that's what I think we got a good lineup this year.
Yeah.
I think of
a lot of new
faces,
people, a lot of fresh faces.
Yeah.
Really excited.
Kind of excited for next week.
Really excited for next week's episode.
Next week's episode is going to be I think that's the start of another little series we're doing this season, and so
and we will.
That's one I'm definitely looking forward to. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of good content we're gonna get out of that.
Most definitely.
I'm excited for that as much as I was for this.
Little teaser. It might be not sure yet. It might be a crossover episode. Could be. Yeah. So we'll have to see how all that plays out. Let you guys ponder that one for 7 days.
For a week.
We'll go from there. As always,
conspiracy theorists will start up.
What?
All the conspiracies
are going to start.
Yeah, it's the crossover.
Yeah. As always, check out our website, pyrounleashedpodcast.com. You'll be able to see our link tree is over there. Be able to jump in there and check out all of our socials. And if you have one of those $1,000 phones with TikTok still, we are on TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
If not, I'm sure somebody has one for sale. I did see them going cheaper for $600 last week.
We're in the wrong business.
On their iPhones like 10 grand.
iPhone, on them. Yeah, iPhone with TikTok for sale. I know what I got. No Lobo offers.
Yeah.
And then while you're at the website, be sure to grab some merch to rock at one of the events you're going to be going to.
I mean, if you order, you can get it in time for CobraCon.
You can still get it in time for CobraCon.
Yeah.
So we actually really need to run this.
I might bring something for somebody who shows up with some Pyro Unleashed gear on or something. Right. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you show up with a shirt. Maybe I'll have something for you. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll have a little prize if you come find us and you got a Pyro Unleashed shirt on or something.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to. Dominator has their Dominator dollars. We'll have to have our.
Might be courtesy of David's stash or something.
Yeah. Maybe. Hey, we'll have to have our Dominator gear or Pyro Unleashed gear or something. So. Yeah. And then, as we were speaking before, jump in our Discord.
We take questions live from Discord.
We literally have been, people were putting questions in the Discord as we were recording.
Nice. Yeah, so. You've got questions for our future guests, hop over there and toss me there when we record.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So again, kind of, thank Neil for coming on and spending the evening with us.
Thank you again.
Sharing about who Neil is and us getting to kind of know you a little bit more and talk about Finale and stuff. So we definitely really appreciate it. And,
really appreciate being here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you bet.
And we will catch everybody again in another week with another great episode for episode number 4 coming up. This is going to be one you're not going to want to miss as well. Yeah. And in the meantime, go out there and unleash your inner pyro.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.